What's up, everybody? It's Jason Roslin back here with a couple of Week 14 DraftKings Reignmakers targets as we have a very interesting slate upcoming this week as a number of players that we are used to seeing in those winning lineups, especially in the main slate, are not on the main slate this week. Players like Josh Jacobs, Kyler Murray, Tua, and other non-superstar players are not a part of the slate, including Justin Fields, either on a bye or part of a showdown slate. So it's going to really open things up at especially the QB and RB position for that main slate. So let's go ahead and give you a few targets that I'm going to be looking at, especially here at the running back position. My number one target of the week, maybe of any position, not just running back, is DeAndre Swift. We've seen over the last couple of years, he certainly has that slate-breaking ability. We haven't seen it quite this year, but what I love is we finally got over a 50% snap count last week for the first time since week 7. We put up over 20 fantasy points, and Detroit is hot. They're going up against a Minnesota team that is struggling on the defensive side of the ball. So DeAndre Swift, I think, could be in line finally for a ceiling game. Let's get him a 60% snap count and see what happens. I think we get over 25 fantasy points, which will put him maybe as the top non-superstar running back of the slate. Now, also on Detroit, if they are able to sneak by Minnesota here this week, they've only played one team with a winning record in their last 4 games, providing a pathway to the playoffs. So for those DeAndre Swift cards, it may not just be this week investment, but future weeks as well. That goes the same for Amon-Ra St. Brown, which any production increase in Swift likely doesn't take any away from St. Brown. Okay, now a couple of other running back targets. I want to look at the duo in Kansas City. I know we don't ever like to roster guys that are in a split decision or a split carry situation, but if one player ends up falling in the end zone more than the other, it looks like the production is there for that position on that team led by Patrick Mahomes. So I like both Pacheco and McKinnon. Pacheco's a little bit more expensive in the marketplace than McKinnon, but still both provide pretty good upside, especially in this slate. Now, moving on to wide receivers, I don't want to get fancy this week, at least at that position or in the flex. Travis Kelce, Stefon Diggs, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, who pairs very well with Dak Prescott this week going up against a very, very bad Houston defense. So those are a couple of targets there. We want to go outside the box a little bit. Look at Garrett Wilson. He's going up against Buffalo and Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs. So, okay, that's going to do it for my Week 14 targets. Again, a really fun week with all the players that are on the showdown slates or on a bye. So let's get a little funky this week with our builds, and let's go DeAndre Swift. We'll see you next week, everybody.